Good day everyone. Today I'm here to discuss about assets management in Odoo 14 accounting. So asset management is a systematic process to organize or monitor and sell the assets of an organization in a cost effective way. So by monitoring the assets and their current working conditions, uh, it will help the business to understand loss or gain or equipment failures, etc. So company can have different types of assets, current assets, non-current assets, fixed assets. So if you take the case of current assets, it is an asset which can reasonably be expected to be sold or consumed or exhausted through the normal operations of the business within the current fiscal year or financial year. And we have non-current assets, which is also known as long-term assets. Those assets are investments that are expected to be realized after 1 year. So they are capitalized rather than being expensed and appear on company's balance sheet. So depending upon the nature, they may undergo depreciation. Then we have fixed assets. Fixed assets are a type of non-current assets and include the properties bought for their productive assets. For example, buildings, vehicles, software, land, or equipment, which is bought for a company. So, for example, if a company that is, we can say, let's say we buy a computer for a company with a price that is 27,000. That is, we have purchased the computer for 27,000 and we plan to amortize this computer over 5 years. And after 5 years, we plan, that is, we'll sell it for $7,000. So this is our salvage value, 7,000. That is a final value. That is a not depreciable value for a computer. So some amount are expensed each year as depreciated expenses. So this amount, that is the amount that is expensed each year or each month, uh, depends upon the depreciation method. So here you can see the depreciable value is 20,000 because after 5 years, the accumulated depreciation amount reported on the balance sheet will be equal to 20,000, leaving us with 7,000 of non-depreciable value or salvage value, because we have to sell this product for 7,000 at end of period. So for that, we our initial value or initial residual value have to be 20,000, will be 20,000. So depending upon the salvage value and depreciation method, uh, some amount will be expensed each year as depreciation expenses. So order accounting handles depreciation by creating all depreciation entries automatically in draft mode. Then they are posted periodically. So let's see how asset management is done in Odoo 14 by directly moving to database. So now we are now Odoo database. Let's open accounting module. And when you open accounting, here we can manage our assets by going to accounting menu. We can see under management assets. In order to manage assets, in order to create assets, so assets can be created manually from by clicking this create button, or we can create assets from by creating vendor bills and confirming those bills, and then automatically generate asset entries assets. So first, let's go to configuration, and here you can see under management we can configure asset models. And so asset models can be configured and can be used in order to create assets. So what are asset models? Asset models are used to manage asset entries for an asset. So the depreciation for the asset can be set for a particular duration. So a single asset model can be used for creating multiple assets. So using this asset models, we can create multiple assets. So if you click create button, you can create new asset model. Suppose I'm creating an asset model for computer 5 years. And here you can see two sections, that is depreciation method and accounting. So here under depreciation method, we can select the type of, that is the way in which the depreciation is done. That is a method used to do the depreciation. So there are three ways, methods. That is, first one is straight line or linear. Second one is digressive, and third one is accelerated digressive. So if you take the first case, that is straight line, we can it is used to calculate depreciation linearly. So if you take an example, so in this case, straight line, we take our initial residual value, that is 20,000, or which is our depreciable value, and divide equally for each year. That is 20,000 is divided by total period 5. So 20,000 divided by 5 is 4,000, and that 4,000 are expensed each year as depreciation expense. So you can see each year 4,000 is marked as expense. So entry will be created, depreciation entry will be created with this amount in draft mode. Then our second method is degressive. That is, the actual amount will be multiplied with a degressive factor, which is the depreciable amount. Here, for example, we have a degressive factor 0.40, which is multiplied with our initial residual value, that is 20,000. That is our depreciable value. So 20,000 is multiplied with our factor, that is 0.40. So we get an amount, that is 8,000, which will be taken as the first entry. First entry for which, that is first depreciation entry. And then what we do is that we subtract this 8,000 from 20,000 to get 12,000. And that 12,000 is multiplied with, again with the degressive factor to get 4,800, which will be taken as the next entry. Then again we remove, that is subtract this 4,800 from 12,000 to get the remaining residual value. I will just show this. Is when you subtract this 4,800, we will get 7,200, and again multiply it with our degressive factor to get 2,880, which will be our next entry. And again remove this 2,880 from 7,200 to get 4,320, which is again multiplied with our degressive factor to get 1,728, which is our next entry. And again we remove this number from, subtract this number from 4,320. So we get 2,592, which will be taken as the final value, final entry. So this is how degressive method works. So according to this degressive factor, some amount will be expensed. That is, some amount are expensed each year as depreciation expenses. Then we have a third method, that is accelerated degressive. So it is a combination of straight line or linear and digressive. That is, from the start, depreciation is calculated by multiplying with a factor as the same as digressive. That is, first entry will be 8,000 itself. If we take this example, first entry will be 8,000 itself in as a digressive, and then when it reaches the linear value, it will follow the straight line method. So here what we'll do is that first value will be taken as the entry in degressive method, and then in next case we compare with straight line. So here you can see year 2 it is 4000 and year 2 for degressive it is 4800. So the greater value is 4800. So this will be taken. So in this aggressive method, our second entry will be 4800, and last residual value is taken as last depreciation entry. So this is how third method works. So now let's see how we can make use of these methods in our asset model. So here we have already set the method straight line and duration 5 years. Then here you can see a field that is to mention, that is to tick Prorata Temporis. So this is a feature to determine from which day the depreciation need to be calculated. So if it is ticked, the first date of depreciation start from the asset creation date or purchase date, instead of the 1st January or start date of fiscal year. So I'm not enabling this. So when you enable this, then the date will be taken from purchase date or creation asset creation date. Okay. Then here we have a section that is to add accounts for our asset model. So here you can see the company name. Then we have three main accounts, that is fixed asset account, depreciation account, and expense account. So fixed asset account means account which was used to document the purchasing of the asset at its original cost. So the account type will be fixed asset. So I've already created an account that is computer, and when you go to external link, you can find the account type as fixed asset and with other details. Then here you can see depreciation account, that is account used to record the depreciation entries to decrease asset value. So that is noted in this account. So I've already created computer amortization, and when you go to external link, you can see the details. Then here we have expense account, that is account used to report the expense portion of asset. So periodic expense entries of portion of asset being used is marked this added in this expense account, and here I'm adding depreciation of computers, the account I've already created. And when you go to external, you can see the account type is an expense account, which is of, that is this depreciation. You can see this. Okay, just save this, and here we have an option to add the journal in which the entries need to be posted. So here we can select miscellaneous operations. Then you can see two options, two fields, that is to add analytical account and analytical tag, which can be seen when you enable analytical account and tag in configuration settings of your accounting, the company. Okay, so I'm not adding any of them here. Okay, then save this asset model. So asset model is created, which can be later used to create assets, whereas multiple assets can be created. Okay, now let's make some change in our fixed asset account that is created for computer. So when you go to chart of accounts and search for our computer, you can see that account here. Let's go to setup, and here we can find asset options, that is in order to automate asset. So we have three options. So before we have set it as no, now let's create, you choose this option, create and validate. So you can create asset and validate, or if you choose this create and draft, then draft will be created. So I'm choosing create and validate. So when you choose this, you can see the asset model is will be mandatory, and here you can see an option to manage items. So this is used when you tick this option, then multiple asset items will be generated depending on the bill line quantity instead of one global asset. So depending on the quantity, multiple assets will be created. So I have enabled this option. Then you can see asset model. So I'm choosing it as we have already created a model that is a computer 5 years. So just choose that and save this. Okay, so we have edited the fixed asset account. Let's create a vendor bill. So we have purchased a computer for 27,000. So let's create a bill for that. So here let's add a product. So I've already created a product that is purchased a product computer for which I'm going to create a bill. And here we can change the account. So I'm changing it to fixed asset. Sorry, I'm changing to our account that is computer. Okay. So which is important because inside that account we have set our asset model. Okay, then if you have provided any analytical account and analytical tag, then that also can be provided here. Then you can change the quantity. Then suppose I'm adding this purchase price, that is 27,000. So for this amount I'm creating the bill. So here I can see some total 27,000. So you can remove tax right now. Okay. Then after this, just confirm the bill. And when you confirm the bill, you can see here tab that is one asset is created. So you can see the count that is one asset is created. And when you click on this, you can see the one asset is created. Asset name is computer with the first depreciation date, book value, depreciable value can be seen. Let's open this and you can see the status is running. So when you open this, you can see all the details uh, of that asset. So here you can see the asset values section where you can see the original value that is 27,000 and acquisition date. So acquisition date means the day on which the assets of the acquirer are valued for accounting and tax purposes. So you can see this today's date. And here we have our current values. Can see the currency, then non-depreciable value. So here we can see an option to set to draft. And when you click edit, here you have an option to change. That is, you can make changes to our depreciation. So here we can add non-depreciable value, that is our salvage value. So it is 7,000. I'm adding as 7,000. So according to that, you can see the change here. That is depreciable value changed to 20,000, which is our initial residual value. And you can save this. Okay, so you can see the our asset. Then here we can see depreciation method, that is straight line, duration 5 years. Then you can see Prorata Temporis and you can see start depreciating. That is the starting date. You can see it is 12/31. This because we have it enabled Prorata Temporis. So when you enable this, you can see option that is the start date will be, that is product date will be today's date because we have purchased today and we have created the bill today. So you can see today's date. I'm not enabling this. Okay. Then we can see the accounting details that we have read before. Then, so below you can see depreciation board, the contains depreciation entries for each year. So the calculation of depreciation for 5 years can be viewed here, and you can see it is in draft state. That is, each entry is in draft state and which is posted automatically in depreciation date. So each depreciation entries are validated and posted on corresponding dates. And here we have a tab that is related purchase. So when you click on this, you can see the related purchase. You can see the date of purchase, account, label, then debit can be seen here. Okay. And here we also have an option to add line related purchase. So according to that, board will be generated. And here we can see posted entries. That is, it shows details of all posted entries. So currently it is 0 because all the entries are in draft state, and also you can see the assets is in draft. Okay, I'm just confirming this. Okay, now it is running. So let's open this, and here you can see all the journal entries in draft state. And when you open one, here you can see this move is configured to be posted automatically at the accounting date, and you can see the date here for that entry. And here you can see the set tab. Then here we have our details, like journal items can be viewed here with our depreciation account and our expense account. That is, then here under other information you can see the post automatically option is enabled, so we can edit this. Like when you disable this, then we can post this entry manually. And when you come back, you can also post this entry from here. So when you choose one entry, and under action you can see an option in order to post entries. So when you click on this, you can see a window that is to force in order to post the journal entries. So we will not be able to modify the entries later. So you can post journal entries. So you can see this move is configured to be auto posted on date, and you can see the date. So we can't post this. And if these entries are posted, then posted entries will be reflected in our profit and loss account. And okay, now here we can see, that is, in order to modify depreciation, that is, we can modify depreciation. When you click on this, you can see a window in order to set a reason for modification. So here we can set reason like you need to change salvage value, so that is a non-depreciable amount. So if I wish to change to 8,000, I can change that. So here you can see that option, that is, see other fields in order to set account asset counter part. Okay, so after setting that, you can modify depreciation. So I'm not modifying this. Then we can post depreciation. So when you click this, you can post, set a post date. Then it is possible to save model. Then here you can see, that is, in order to sell or dispose. So when you click on this, so it means that it must be removed from balance sheet. And if it is sell, then we have to mention the invoice, customer invoice from here. And we have to mention the loss or gain account, loss account. Then if it is dispose, you can see the option to, again, option to add loss account. And we can click dispose, so it will be removed from balance sheet. So now let's come under accounting assets. So you can see, and again we can create new asset by clicking create button from here. Like here you can see select relatable purchases. So you can select the relatable purchases from here, and we can add original value, then these details, and again create our assets manually from here. And it is also possible to create assets by going to our purchase journal, and from here we can select a journal, uh, journal item, and purchase journal item. And here under action you can find an option to create asset. So by clicking create asset, we can create asset. Okay, suppose I'm creating vendor bill. And if I change the quantity, that is in order to 2, and purchasing product to 24,000, and confirming the bill, sorry, Confirming the bill. So here you can see, depending, that is according to the quantity for which bill is created, two assets are created. And when you open this, you can see uh, different book value and depreciable value in running. So when you open this, you can see the value, the depreciation here. And let me show, that is, if you change degressive and compute depreciation, here below you can see it is calculated according to degressive method. You can see the changed value because it is not, the expense is not equally depreciated. And here you can see as well degressive. So when you click compute depreciation, you can see the depreciation board is again changed. So according to those depreciation methods, we can have different depreciation entries and can confirm this. So when you come under assets, you can see those assets here. Then here we have our, under reporting, here we have our profit and loss account. So here we can see our expenses and our loss and profit. And here if we select unposted entries, because our entries are not posted, so you can see our depreciation, and when you unfold this, you can see our account and the total amount can be seen here. And if you go to our journal items, you can see the items here, amounts can be seen here. It is items created for our assets. So that's all about asset management in Odoo 14. If you're interested in knowing more about this or looking for any Odoo implementation or customization in your business, drop your request to odoo@cybrosys.com.